Greg McElroy, Caleb Williams. Ho, ho, ho! News about Caleb Williams strikes again. Wow, so many opinions and takes have been shouted out on Caleb Williams. At this point, it has just become divisive to sports fans. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Greg McElroy putting Caleb Williams on blast for never experiencing adversity throughout his collegiate career. For the people wondering who Greg McElroy is, he is one of the best college football analysts out there, as he was a former national champion for Alabama at the quarterback position. However, Greg McElroy's take did not sit well with Caleb Williams himself, as he fired off a tweet responding to the criticism of Greg McElroy. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Whose side are you on? Greg McElroy or Caleb Williams? And for the people that have watched my previous Caleb Williams videos, you guys know what I'm about to say. You guys know that I'm not a supporter of Caleb Williams whatsoever. And you guys know that I do not approve a lot of what Caleb Williams is doing. Of course, I'm going to take Greg McElroy's side. And not only am I going to take Greg McElroy's side, I am going to fully support what Greg McElroy had to say about Caleb Williams. If you guys don't know who Greg McElroy is, he's an elite college football analyst out there. It's not like he's just some regular big old Joe sitting at his house, sitting in his underpants in the basement. This is a former national champion we're talking about. He won a national championship in college. Now, granted, was Greg McElroy a great quarterback in college football? Absolutely not. Did Greg McElroy have a great career in the NFL? Absolutely not. But Greg McElroy is definitely a smart man. Greg McElroy is one of the smarter quarterbacks to have ever played college football. He had high IQ when he played for Nick Saban. And anytime you're the quarterback for Nick Saban's team and you win a national championship, that's pretty impressive in and of itself. He was the guy that led Nick Saban to winning his first title at Alabama. And obviously, you look at how Greg McElroy has been an elite college football analyst. He's done a lot of good things in the college football community. He gives solid takes throughout. He's not one of those guys like Stephen A. Smith where he's just going to shout out a bunch of loudmouth takes in order to draw views. This guy actually knows what he's talking about, and this guy is rather calm when talking about football players at the collegiate level. He's not trying to use superstar players' names in order to boost up his ratings. He knows that ratings come and go and that he can analyze these guys fully objectively. And honestly, before I ramble on anything else about what Greg McElroy had to say about Caleb Williams, I figured that it would be better if I just showed you guys what he had to say on the This Is Football with Kevin Clark podcast show. Roll the film.
Caleb Williams has never had that. I mean, Caleb Williams, from the time he stepped on campus at Oklahoma to the time he stepped on campus at SC, he has never experienced adversity. Very little adversity as far as how he was received and how he was portrayed as the next best guy. Even when they went 7-6 this year, or 6-6 or whatever, 7-5, it wasn't because of Caleb. I mean, he did his part, and he did. And a lot of that is true. But I do wonder about, is there a sense of entitlement? Is there that chip on the shoulder that's going to keep him going 10, 12 years down the road, the way it does Mahomes, who's still pissed that he got drafted 10th? Like, still, to this day, is mad about that.
Well said, Greg McElroy. I agreed with a lot of what he said. I thought that his points on Caleb Williams were solid throughout that video that I just showed you guys. Obviously, Caleb Williams was not the main reason why USC went 7-5. That was because they had a horrific defense. And let's be honest, their defense was one of the worst defenses in the country last season, while Caleb Williams got that team to 7 wins. I have never questioned Caleb Williams' talent whatsoever. I have always said on this channel that Caleb Williams is a physical talent worth looking at, and you're going to be amazed by that talent of Caleb Williams. However, my concerns of Caleb Williams have always been the same. Can he lead a group of men into successful guys at the NFL level? Can he do that? Can he make others around him better? And can he not be a weirdo where teammates are going to want to distance themselves around Caleb Williams? Because we know that the man paints his fingernails as a hobby, which of course I take issue with that, because again, what man paints his fingernails as a hobby? There is something wrong with that guy. And Caleb Williams also has a pink phone and a pink wallet as well, which is just absolutely weird to me whatsoever. But let's talk about football. Let's not necessarily talk about the personal life of Caleb Williams, because I'm here to talk about Caleb Williams, the football player. And obviously, Greg McElroy was talking about how Caleb Williams might not be a great quarterback in the NFL because he hasn't really faced any hard adversity heading into the NFL, which I agree with. Every time Caleb Williams has stepped on a campus, he has always been the man. Everybody has believed in Caleb Williams since day one. It's not like people have come in and said, oh, can Caleb Williams play great football? Everybody knows Caleb Williams can play great football in college football. Now, of course, I do have doubts that Caleb Williams will be a great quarterback at the NFL level, but that's a minority take. That's not necessarily a take a lot of people have been saying. I just have doubts about that because of his lack of leadership, and obviously we've never seen a quarterback act like Caleb Williams prior to getting drafted in the NFL. So obviously there's going to be some unprecedented situation going on, but apparently Caleb Williams heard about what Greg McElroy had to say and he got offended. Oh my God, I got offended by what Greg McElroy had to say. Let me go and run to Twitter to respond to him. And obviously Caleb Williams had too much time on his hands. I guess that's what happens when you don't participate in the combine. When you don't participate in the combine, you're not constantly working out. I guess you're going to be on Twitter all day, or you're just going to see what people are going to say about you. And obviously Caleb Williams took issue with that. I'm going to read you guys this tweet from Caleb Williams. So it says, quote, "Let's go back to school again, cause I'm bored right now. Adversity, a state or instance of serious or continued difficulty or misfortune. Year 1, didn't start freshman year. Year 2, popped hammy championship game first Q, lost because of my hammy. Year 3, 7-5, my last year of college ball." That's what he had to say about his adversity at the collegiate level, but that's not really adversity whatsoever. That's just what every football player goes through at some point. Look, not everybody's going to win a national championship every single year. Not everybody's going to win a conference championship every single year. As far as him not starting freshman year, shoot, 95% of quarterbacks at the collegiate level don't start the freshman year, so that doesn't really mean anything to me. And as far as him popping his hamstring in the first quarter of the national championship game, okay, fine, I agree with that. I agree that Caleb Williams wasn't 100% in the Pac-12 championship game, but what's his excuse for losing to Utah during the other times? Because he constantly got owned to Utah throughout his time in college football. That's just one game. So obviously Caleb Williams struggling because he injured his hammy. That's not a good enough excuse. And then of course year 3, he says 7-5, my last year of college ball. That doesn't really mean much of anything because not a lot of quarterbacks necessarily go undefeated and go play great football in their final year. Look, Caleb Williams played great football in his final year. I'm not trying to take anything away from Caleb Williams, but what I am saying about Caleb Williams is that the guy has serious leadership issues and that the dude ran into the stands after a ball game against Washington and cried in his mother's arms. And you're telling me this guy is mentally fit for the NFL level? Yeah, get out of here. I can't believe that people are actually saying that Caleb Williams is going to be just fine at the NFL level, because I don't think he's mentally ready to go to the NFL. I think he's physically ready. I think the physical tools check out, but I think what's in between his ears isn't ready to go. I don't think he has the brain of a future NFL superstar. I think that Caleb Williams is very behind mentally speaking, and that he is an absolute weirdo at best while being a horrible leader at worst. Look, a lot of people have said that Caleb Williams is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, but honestly, I see a lot more Jay Cutler in this game, more so than Patrick Mahomes. Don't be surprised if Caleb Williams ends up being Black Jay Cutler moving forward at the NFL level. Why do I compare him to Jay Cutler? Because of the fact that Jay Cutler had a lot of physical talent, but it went to waste because he was a crappy leader, and that he was a guy who quit on the Chicago Bears in the 2010 NFC Championship game. You guys remember the time where Jay Cutler was riding a bike while he sprained his knee or something like that, and he basically quit on the team? Yeah, I remember that. And obviously Jay Cutler was never known as a great leader, even though he was a great physical talent. That's what I'm saying could happen to Caleb Williams, where he has a lot of physical talent, but his leadership never translates to the NFL level, and that's going to hold him back from reaching his full potential. Look, Caleb Williams, I'm letting you know this because I want you to succeed. It's not like I want Caleb Williams to fail. I don't want Caleb Williams to be like the biggest bust in NFL history, but if Caleb Williams keeps this up, he could soon become the biggest bust in NFL history. This dude is skipping the combine. This dude is such a diva, and that he is an absolute weirdo at best while being a poor leader at worst. There's just a lot of red flags surrounding Caleb Williams, and I agree with Greg McElroy. He's never really faced adversity throughout his collegiate career, and he's not going to face adversity in the NFL draft. Look, the Chicago Bears, they're going to take him with the #1 overall pick. I don't care what anybody's going to say. As soon as the clock starts on draft night, the Chicago Bears are going to pick Caleb Williams. It's really that simple to me, because of the fact that the Chicago Bears, they want to take a new quarterback quarterback, and obviously Caleb Williams is supposedly a generational talent, so they'll go ahead and take him. However, I believe that Caleb Williams will end up being a draft bust, but you guys already know how I feel about Caleb Williams anyway. I'm not going to ramble on too much more about my takes on Caleb Williams. I've already made several videos about it, and obviously I have major concerns about the leadership of Caleb Williams, and I thought Greg McElroy was right for criticizing Caleb Williams. Look, he didn't even blast him for painting his fingernails. If I was Greg McElroy, I would have ripped him for how he paints his fingernails and how he carries a pink wallet and a pink phone around him. But that's just me, so that is why I am on Greg McElroy's side in this situation, as he made valid points about Caleb Williams throughout his interview on the This Is Football with Kevin Clark podcast. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinAsTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinAsTran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinAsTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.